Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Good to see
Welcome
you.
everyone to Delight in Fright. I'm Kat and the lovely Luna over here. And today we have a very special guest. Edward Apeagyei is with us today. Oh, that rhymed. That was very, yes. Did a Sky series called Unwanted currently. He's been in The Quantum Devil, one of our favorites, Aftermath, Christmas with the King, Queen of Diamonds, The Legend of Tarzan, Save Luna, and he's been also been in an episode of Medina and Gangs of London. And so far, they've won 3 awards for Aftermath, the Black Swan International Film Festival Award for Best Actor. Congratulations, and the
Thank
Vegas
you.
Movie Awards for Best Actor. Again, congratulations. And then
Thank
the
you.
film itself won the Vegas Movie Awards for Best Ensemble Cast. So, welcome, Edward. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It was wonderful to see your performance in the movie Legend of Tarzan. So we'll get right to it for the awesomeness that was this fantastic action adventure film that came out in 2016. What was it like working with Samuel L. Jackson?
A little backstory about Tarzan. So Tarzan was my first ever film, and
Oh, nice.
when I did Tarzan, I wasn't an actor. I was working in a securities company, and I got the sack. So basically, I had no work, and I decided to register with a casting agency, and they 2 weeks later they called and said we're casting for this film so casting for extras, and so I went, I got selected, and then 2 weeks later they called and said, we still need some actors, and we're casting for actors. It's like, well, I'm not an actor, but I can give it a try. It was just one line. Anyway, I got a job, and then so that's how I got a part for Tarzan. And so as you can imagine, I'm not an actor. I get on set, they show you your trailer, and my head is just blowing up. I just can't believe I'm here. And then we go for the rehearsal, and then someone walks in, and I'm like, wow, oh my God, and he walks in, and he's just so cool, super cool. He comes in, hello guys, we speak, say a bit. And then yeah, we went on and worked, and I worked with him for 3 months on Tarzan, and it was one of the most exhilarating experience of my life. It was amazing, and like I said, he was cool. I didn't know anything, and I would watch him, when he was doing his he was doing his bit. I would watch him and learn. So that's how I got onto that's how I started.
Wow, that's such a fantastic start to be able to see Samuel L. Jackson and then kind of learn from his acting method and style. That is pretty cool, man, to get your first gig with such a awesome heavy hitter in the industry.
Yes, yes, and there was Alexander Skarsgård, there was Margot Robbie, there was Christoph Waltz as well, which we did a couple of scenes with as well. So yeah, I mean, it was a good start for me. I was very, very lucky, and yeah, I so that's how I started. That's how my acting career started.
That is such a beautiful tale because it's not every day that your very first gig is with Margaret Robbie, Christoph Waltz and Samuel L. Jackson. That's quite the head start there, you know?
Indeed, indeed, yeah, yeah. I mean, I every day was just I just couldn't believe it, and yeah, I think also there was such naivete, that I just went with the flow. It was after Tarzan that I started going to acting classes, And then that's when everything changed, because then you begin to understand more about characters and how to prepare a script and stuff like that.
Right. That's completely understandable. When you got the role for was it Kimanga, right?
Manga, yes, yes.
Did you get the script or did you get any time to like work out your character for Tarzan?
Oh yeah, I mean we had about 2 months to get ready, to prepare for it. So I mean, I read the whole script. It was the first script I ever read in my life, and so we had a month to prepare. I started going to the gym because we knew we were gonna have our tops off. So started going to the gym and yeah, that was it. It was 2 months, started filming, and then it went on for 3 months.
Whoa, that seems so awesome. I mean, you have to physically and mentally prepare for a role like this, especially if they're very active. The actor, I mean, the character you're trying to portray has a very active lifestyle. You have to kind of emulate that, and then you have to work out and kind of get in that spirit, sort of speak.
Exactly. I mean, if you've seen Tarzan, it was everybody had their shirt off. You had, and also my character was a warrior, so yeah, there was extra pressure to look to look good, to look like a warrior.
Yeah, you did a great job. I can't believe you looked like a badass warrior if I so say so myself. In what, 2 months you had to prepare?
Yes, yes.
Whoa, you pulled it off, man. That looked like it took you like 5 years of just like going hard.
Yeah, yeah.
It was almost too much hotness to bear. There was so much hotness on that movie. I was just like,
Yes.
oh my God.
It was like, ooh, starting
Thank
to
you.
fan myself over here, like, ooh.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Was it easier for you, Edward, to kind of learn coming in fresh everything because you had no preconceived notions about how you should act? Was it easier for you to just come in as a clean slate for them to teach you?
It was easier for my first 2 projects. So after Tarzan, I got an agent, and then the first audition she took me on was for a series for NBC called American Odyssey, and the dialogue was in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, so there's a shop around where I live, and it's an Arabic shop. So I went there and asked the guy, "Look, can you just record it on my phone, what it says on there?" And that's what he did, and I learned the lines and got the job basically. So those first 2, I just went in and everything was normal, And then when I started going to class and started learning about acting and everything else, that's when everything changed, because then I was doing a lot of auditions, and like I said, I was just learning to be an actor. So I was learning how to learn lines, how to do auditions. So it was very tough for a few months after that, and then I got my next job, which was probably about, I don't know, 7 months after that. I got my next job, which was Medina, the series that is which we went to Qatar to film it, and it has Eric Roberts, Natasha Henstridge, and others in it. So yeah.
That's so awesome. And you just, you didn't need a fancy coach. You're like, hey, I know this guy over here. I'm gonna have him help me out, and then just did what you had to do. I love that ingenuity to just go get it. I love it.
Yeah, and also going to class helped a lot. My tutor in class, it's a method acting class, and is sort of based on the actor studio, and the techniques and ways, methods that they use is adapted to what we do here in class, and that is what really helped me, because um, it helped me a lot.
That sounds so freaking awesome, Edward. We love it. Can you talk about a little bit of what it was like to work on Christmas with the King?
So Christmas with the King was actually filmed during COVID. So during COVID, nobody had work, staying at home. And anyway, um, I there's a platform where you find work, acting work on there. And so I saw it, applied for it, and this I did the audition and got it. So it's basically a Nollywood production. So Nollywood is basically so it's Nollywood films are films made in Nigeria, but this film was made in London, but with a Nigerian producer and director. So that's why it's a Nollywood production. And actually, it's available on Qatar Airways. So if you ever take Qatar Airways, you can watch Christmas with the King on Qatar Airways.
Oh, that sounds so awesome. They just played for all the people flying.
Yeah, I mean, if you select it, you'll be able to watch it.
I thought it was just beautiful. The costume work was just amazing in that movie. And it's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
a great thing to watch now. The holidays are coming up and can get you in the Christmas spirit. It's so beautiful.
yeah, the costumes were just amazing. The costume designer, she was just, and the thing is that she didn't have a concept of what she wanted to do. Everything was okay. This is the scene, and then on the spot, she had you know different costumes, and she would put it together. We take a picture. Okay, it looks good, and then we go. So, yeah, she was very talented.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just some of the costume pieces like Kat was saying, I will definitely agree with her on that just the jewels and the intricacies of all the pieces were just
Yeah,
so beautiful. It was like, whoa, it was just like watching a whole cultural experience. It was telling a beautiful tale, but then just the costumes and the customs and everything that was portrayed in the movie just really put you there, and it was just a fantastic movie. And I would recommend anybody watch it to just get that feeling. And you did a wonderful job on that also.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we were able to find it streaming for free on Tubi. So if anyone
Oh,
wants to check it
okay.
out for the holiday, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, good to know.
Hmm. It is also free on Peacock, if anybody else is Peacock, and Tubi. So those are the two platforms it's currently on for free as of the day of this recording, which is November 21st. So as of today, you can definitely go ahead and go watch it. So yeah, it's fantastic. You guys will love Edward's performance, the costumes, everything was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, for my personal favorite, are we ready? Yes?
Yes, we
The
are.
Quantum Devil. Oh my
Yay!
goodness. Edward, I have to tell you, The Quantum Devil was my favorite movie of 2023. It just
Wow.
so happens to be a fantasy horror movie, and I love fantasy horror movies. How was it working with Larry?
Oh, wow. Larry is one. I mean, he's the nicest guy you ever meet in your life, and Yeah, I remember when I first, when I did audition and we spoke on the phone, we spoke on Zoom, but I'd never met him till we filmed it in Belgrade in Serbia till I got to Belgrade. And so, they picked me up from the airport and I can't remember where we went. I no, so when I got to the hotel, he was at the hotel waiting for me. And I thought that was just so that tells you who Larry is. He's and he gave me the biggest bear hug. You know how big Larry is. He gave me the biggest bear hug, and we sat down and just had a chat, not about the film, but just general. And I felt so welcomed and so warm, and I knew that it was going to be a great collaboration.
Yeah. Me and Kat have had wonderful experiences with Larry, from, a collaborative podcast. We're like, hey, come on the show and talk about, this, or come on the show and talk to Seth with us and stuff like that. He's always so down and welcoming to do all these fun little things, like we're doing a raffle giveaway and we gave out books and t-shirts, and he's always so on board with everything that we're doing to kind of get Craze House name out there. So we definitely appreciate him. He's been so kind to us, right, Kat?
Absolutely. He's been
I,
awesome.
I
It's
mean,
just you just feel like you're a part of the family the moment you get to know him, and just talking to him is just so easy.
I'm not surprised, and that's exactly how he is on set. After set, he took us, quite a few times to go and just sit down and have something to eat and talk and know each other whilst we were filming, because we were in Serbia for about a month. I was there for a month at least, and he got there earlier before we got there, and he left after, way after we left. So, and yeah, he was. Every day on set was really, really exciting.
And I'm sure you were a little nervous about going all the way to Serbia, and and then Larry's there waiting for you. So I'm sure that puts you at ease.
Exactly, it was my first time going to Serbia, and I didn't know what to expect. And so to get to the hotel, and he's normally you would get an AD or somebody from production meeting you at the hotel to just talk to you and welcome you, but it was the director himself, and that was just it's unheard of. So that was a special touch that showed you what Larry is about, and it carried throughout the whole project.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He does seem like the kind of guy that's like, come on down, we're gonna film a movie in Serbia. Let's have dinner and have a good time while filming. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, oh yeah, we had some great times. Yeah.
Awesome, fantastic. Did you how was it like working with the crew also? Did you guys have like a how was that collaborative aspect of it?
Um, it was perfect. I mean, they were so talented, such a talented crew. I mean, they all spoke English. They were all young, and vibrant and very helpful. Everything when according to plan. When I was filming, and patient, and yeah, it was. You know, I don't know whether how they explain the set to you, but the set is an old disused sugar factory. So what you see behind you is an old disused sugar factory, which has been turned into a theater. So when you go in there, it's just thousands of props and so many things in there, and they were able to just set up the whole thing. And yeah, very talented, and I really enjoyed working with them.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, indeed. And the food in Serbia is really, really good and cheap as well. Very good food.
Ooh. I love hearing about food. What type of food?
Serbian food. It's because Serbia their history is a mixture of different cultures, and therefore you get different sort of cultures, food mixed, come together and to form this beautiful cuisine. Yeah.
That sounds so awesome and yummy. Personally, I'm a big fan of Ethiopian food. So anytime I can try any like amazing curries or anything different that's not your everyday, cheeseburger and fries type deal. Anytime you have that cultural experience of something new, I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Same. I travel a lot, and everywhere I travel, I try to taste the local food, because fast food is everywhere, and I'll rather try the local food, and it tells a story. So
Yeah, for sure. Edward, oh my gosh, the scene where the skin and they're ripping it off, and then you just your character reaches a point. Yeah, your character reaches a point where he accepts it, right? He's just like, yeah, I guess we're gonna roll with it. This is the way it is now. This is how I am now. How long did it take for you to go into that like makeup and all that meat suit?
so makeup takes about 5 to 6 hours. So it always meant that I had to get to the studio earlier than everyone else, so they could start the makeup. And the special effect team was very, very talented, so good, and very patient, because it's very cold, when they put the glue on you, and then when they stick it on you, it's really cold and very. I don't like the feeling of that, of the glue on the skin. So you have to contend with that for hours, and yeah. So it was a it was a great experience, but most of the time I felt really cold.
Oh.
But it was
I,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
was it your first time being highly prosthetic and makeup?
Yes, that wasn't the first time I've had prosthetics in films. Up until then, I think I've had about 3 films before that. It was all like a scar here. In Tarzan, we had lots of scars on our body, but which took an hour to come off, by the way. But yeah, so it wasn't my first experience, but it was my first experience to have like the whole phase, and then
Head
the
to
torso.
toe. Wow.
Yeah, so that was
I do love though how the character evolved in the film. At first you were very reserved and relaxed, and then once the skin came off, you like literally came out of your skin, and you just had the comedy of it was just amazing. I loved it.
Thank you. Yeah, Brad. So when you get a character and you work on a character, there's a whole history behind him, and you know, I don't want to spoil it if anyone hasn't seen the film, but he had to leave where he used to live, which was obviously in England, and then for a certain reason. And so when he got this call up to come for this, with this equation thing, he saw that as a new beginning. And then when he gets there, Klaatu scares him, and that sort of and also he suffered anxiety in the past, so that brought the whole anxiety thing, and so he kept smoking to sort of keep going. And So that's Brad for you in a nutshell.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, the character definitely resonated with myself and Luna. We both kind of struggle with anxiety, panic attacks, all that fun stuff. So you definitely did the character great justice in expressing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, especially when Brad starts hitting his vape. He's like, you know, those moments I was there right there, like with him too. I was like, oh yeah, oh, social anxieties. Give me all. And then there's one scene where he has a briefcase and he's just like, this one does this one, you know what I mean? I was like, ooh, what you got in that briefcase?
Yeah. When I first read the script, I just could not believe it. I was thinking I could not make up in my mind what it would look like, you know. So when I got there and they brought it up, I was like, yes, that's exactly what Brad would have. And yeah, so he has all this knowledge about marijuana, and because he was a genius as a child, and he had pressure on his parents and all these. So he started to self-medicate. And so he's got, different types of marijuana for everything, headache, for, anxiety, to go on an up on a downer. He's got everything. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think when Brad's character starts explaining the Luke's character, like this one's for this, you want a downer, you want an upper, you want this, you want that. He's like, maybe I'm gonna pass. Maybe I felt like Luke was a little overwhelmed with all the options.
Yes. And I mean, Brad, he didn't care. He was like, okay, fair enough. I'll smoke everything by myself, So yeah. Yeah, it just tells you how he has a different relationship with weed, and so yeah, he thought, okay, if Luke is a bit unsure of where he is now, maybe he can take he can take a few pups and relax.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Luke's kind of apprehension was more like he wasn't aware. He didn't have the upbringing and the insight that Brad's character had. So that's why maybe he was like a little more reserved, a little more like careful, like, I don't trust that, because sometimes if somebody tells you this water's bad for you, and whenever you see
Yeah,
that water, you're like, oh, it's just water. It's not gonna kill you. But if society tells you that water is bad, you're just gonna be like, yeah,
yeah.
maybe not so much that
But
water.
then also Luke is come to a place where he's unsure. He's just met this guy, he's smoking all this weed, and he's still unsure. And obviously he's having all this um, hallucinations. And so yeah, I think it's understandable that Luke's character is a bit apprehensive, but it was because also that he just came in and he's not settled in yet. Yes.
That's pretty good insight. That's actually really good insight because I always thought, maybe maybe he's a little wary, or maybe because of his upbringing or whatever. But you're right. I can see why if you're just tossed in a certain situation, Klaatu's being a little mean to him, a little weird to him, and then there's all these weird people in this house, and you're not like, you're kind
But
of not
also
driving with anybody.
remember, if my memory serves me right, he actually did take one little token, and then that nearly blew his head off. So he gave it back to Brad. So he tried,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was too powerful for him.
couldn't hang with Brad, man.
Yeah. So
A cat, would you be able to hang with Brad's character?
So,
I don't know.
oh, you mean
I'd probably be a little hesitant, but I think I would trust him to know what he was talking about. So I think I would trust him if he was like, this will relax you. I'd probably be like, all right, Brad, all right.
I would probably trust him more with the skin than without the skin because I'd be like, "You're smoking that, and then that's you now." I don't know. I don't want none of that no skin stuff.
remember when his skin came off, he was really angry. He was very angry, and so a bit, it was a bit of petulance, because he knows that I don't want to give the film away, but he knows that, yeah, he's angry because of what's happened. Because when he realizes where he is, yes, that's what makes him angry, and then he's like, okay, taking it on everyone, yeah.
That's true. He's like, "You guys got me into this shit." Damn.
Yeah.
Of everyone, I don't think, without giving anything away, I don't think Brad really deserved the terrible things that happened to him. He was the one person with his background. I don't feel that he deserved that. It's like what happened to him seemed to be the worst, even though his
Well,
situation, I don't think he meant to do
Mm,
it.
I see it different than Kat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say the same. I was going to play a bit of devil's advocate and say, well, if you know what happened in his past, then maybe, and also what happened to him, where it happened. It happened in a nightclub, and also what happened in his past had to do with a nightclub. So, is there a connection?
Do you think what happened was on purpose? Like, no, I don't think so, right? Like he didn't mean for his past to happen. Brad's it just kind of happened.
No, no. So it was just it was it's just a bad batch of pills that
Stuff.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but it wasn't intentional or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like Brad wasn't like, I'm gonna fuck all these people up. Fuck
No.
them. You
So
know what I
so when I
mean?
so when I wrote the backstory, actually, it was so he used to produce the drugs just for himself. He likes to self medicate, so it was just for himself. And then his friends would come around and he would give it to his friends, and they enjoyed it. And then they would take it, and then they would go clubbing. And then somebody, and see, that's how it started. So he wasn't actually he wasn't actually in the club trying to sell it or anything like that. It was just that circumstances built, and because he's a nice guy, he let his friends do it, and then that got him in trouble. And yeah.
Oh, it's even worse than I thought. Poor guy. I thought, man, this guy's just making all this stuff to profit and profit off of people's misery, but
Yeah, no, it
no,
wasn't.
that's
It wasn't.
sad.
That wasn't his initial. That wasn't what he intended to do. It was just like, okay, friends, and then he wanted to help his friends, and then you start, and then people like it so much now you can't come out of it, and he's making money. So it just went spiral, out of control. Yeah.
Yeah, when they find a good chemist, they follow them around and they're like, "Hey, I need 200," and he was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what the hell? I'm not used to making such big batches." And oopsie.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
You're
Eh,
muted.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say, um, see, that's sad because I'm glad we're still having this conversation. I would have never guessed. I mean, you only know this because you developed Brad, you developed his character, and nowhere in the movie it's this thing that you're telling us. So it's definitely an exclusive. and I appreciate the insight on the character.
It's a pleasure.
So, the the thing that I gotta say, the most about Brad that I enjoyed is after they removed his skin, like Kat was saying earlier, he just became like after he got done with the angry phase, he just got acceptance, and then even he was saying one-liners too. At one point, he told Luke like something like, "Oh, what can we get over the skin?" or something like that.
Yeah, can we get
Yeah,
over the skin thing? And that
yeah.
was like a double entendre that had a
That's
little
what I was gonna
tongue
say. I
twist
thought
as well.
that
It was
was
great.
genius writing. From Seth and Larry, and yeah. So it was the whole thing of okay. Um, okay, listen, skin thing. Okay, it's fine for me. I found the 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 comedy in the fact that this is a black guy whose skin has been has been ripped off, and then he goes, "Oh, can we get over the skin thing?" And you think, okay, so yeah. When I first read it, I just laughed and laughed and laughed.
Was anybody around when you were just laughing
No,
when you
so
read that part?
I live by myself, and yeah, I mean, my neighbors think I'm crazy because when I'm rehearsing, I shouting and they think what's going on in there. But yeah, no, there was no one around. But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the film is such a funny, dark comedy, science. It's all in there. You just have to find the nuggets. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Edward, regarding just the film overall. How did you know where to apply for this film, or how did you, get the part?
Um, so I got it through my agent, and I remember doing the audition, and before I actually, so when the audition first went, it took a while before we finally heard from them officially. But then my agent was saying, "Oh, I think they really like you," and then I can't remember what happened, but I think I followed Larry on Instagram, or he followed me on Instagram, or something like that. I think no, he followed me on Instagram, and then they hadn't told me I'd got a job yet, so. So okay, the directors follow me on Instagram. This must, So I've got my fingers crossed, waiting, and then we finally got the call, and then I spoke to Larry on Zoom for the first time, and I just couldn't, even the first time I spoke to him, he was so warm, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm looking forward to working with him, and yeah, the rest is history.
Oh, that's so awesome that you were able to, work with a awesome agent to get you this part, because this just fit perfectly for you, and you did the part such great justice.
Thank you, thank you. It was a great experience. I mean, even um, what working on the for the audition, because as you remember, he had so many lines and he had really huge words. I can't remember that, when he was talking about sativa, he was talking about all these things, and it took me so long just to be able to get those words, and yeah, and so it was a fun experience, and I really decided, because when I when you get an audition, you only get like a couple of pages, so I didn't know what happened to Brad afterwards, but and even the part where I was reading for the audition was the part where his skin has been ripped and he's confronting Luke. You know, he's talking about that scene where he talks about his skin and everything. That was the scene for the audition. But then when I thought that I didn't know his skin has been ripped, but I thought that maybe he had some sort of irritation on his skin, you know, and so in that scene it was more fidgety, you know, he was more. That's how I sort of figured him at the beginning. But then once the costume comes on, you know, everything else it just sort of takes its own sort of path.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And you had no clue that it was gonna be complete. You just thought it was a little skin bump or a little,
Yeah,
like a little cut or something
I
from
mean, when you read
traveling.
in the script, it says, the bit it was when I got the entire script that I realized that, oh, okay, you know, his skin actually comes off, but when I was doing the audition, I didn't have an idea that that was what it was, but I thought that because of what's just happened, he was more skittish and, you know, there was more irritation in him, you know, yeah. But the first time, you know, when you go on my Instagram, I actually have a video of when when they were doing when they were putting the prosthetics on. So it's in a slow motion video that you can watch of, you know, how the whole thing comes on. And yeah, and also there's a bonus video where Brad is dancing, which is funny. So
Oh, I saw that one with the makeup
yeah.
people and the special effects people. I
Yeah.
love that video.
So the thing is that every time they would, you know, do the makeup, they would play music, you know, whilst they're doing the makeup, and that was my favorite music. So every time they finished the makeup, we would dance, you know, and so it became like a ritual. Every time they finished makeup, we play that music and dance.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
It so reminded me of Hellraiser. Are you a fan of the Hellraiser franchise?
Yes, yes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So you completely kind of changed your life, right? You were doing security and then you started acting. So
Yep.
what advice would you give someone maybe that later in life, you know, that things can change and sometimes it can work out for the better in your situation?
Just go for it, you know. I normally tell people that if you want to start to be an actor, start from being an extra, because what that allows you is it allows you the opportunity to go on set, see how it works, and then also try and get some sort of course or acting class to go, because you know, acting is like a gym. You know, you go in there and you build a muscle, and you have to keep building the muscle, you know. So and also you have to act in the presence of people. So that's why you have to go to some sort of class, because you can act in your bedroom, but it's only tangible when it's being received, you know, when that energy is being received by someone else.
Yeah, that's very much true. And you just gotta seize that moment, like that opportunity you saw in Tarzan. You just went for it. You're like, oh, extra? Why not be in the movie? Like that takes some courage and some, balls to go out there and say, I'm gonna freaking do it,
Yeah.
So I commend you on that.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, as you know, acting is a very lonely sort of profession. You know, you have to be self motivated. You have to train by yourself, rehearse by yourself, do everything by yourself. So, if somebody wants to do it, you can do it. Anybody can act. Just start somewhere. Start as an extra. Go to class. Look for an agent. That's what I did. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it because you're putting out really fantastic stuff. And speaking of fantastic stuff, I have something to share with you guys. I just can't play the audio because YouTube and they tend not to like it. So I just so you guys can see what we're talking about. The dancing, yes.
Break it down.
That is so awesome. At this time of the video, was your prosthetics and everything fully done?
Yes, so they just finished and the thing is once it goes on, then they have to put the blood has to go on, and that also takes a long time, and they've just finished putting the blood on, and yeah, we're ready to go on set, but we're just having a good time there.
Aw, that sounds so much fun. And for copyright, I'm not gonna play the audio, but you can go and follow him and listen to the audio yourself if you really want to, see what Edward is doing. So thank you for sharing that. That sounds like so much fun. I mean,
Yeah.
6 hours is kind of a long time to sit there. So after 6 hours every day, and oh my god, yes.
And also it takes an hour and a half for it to come off. So.
Oh my god, Edward, that yeah. Hopefully, oh no. And then how long did you film? So it was 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours to do the makeup, and then how long to film? Like on a day, like maybe 12 hours.
Yeah, you could do a 12-hour shoot, and then you do another hour and a half
to take it off.
Yeah,
and remember, then come back the next day.
Another 45 minutes to come back from set. So yeah, I was going home really late, and the glue just sticks to everything. So it's like 2 days later, you're like, "What's that?" Oh, glue from 2 days ago. Yeah,
that's so funny. Oh man, I wonder why you couldn't just since it's gonna be 12-hour sets every day, just do the makeup one day and then just crank it out for 12 hours, just kind of sleep on a chair or something, and in the morning they could just touch you up real quick, do another 12 hours, and then
he might be stuck to the chair and they might never be able to get him out.
That's true. I don't know. I didn't think about that, but I'm like, at this point, just sleep standing up.
No, I was going to say the prosthetics is so very fragile that that small fibers will stick to it. So yeah, I mean, you can only use it, I think, 3 or 4 times, and that's it.
Whoa! How many replacements of your skin suit did they have?
Oh, they had loads. I mean, when they showed me pictures, and Olga, she in her office, she had loads of different parts, and actually, so for them to do the prosthetics, they did a 3D of my head, and then they built the prosthetics on it while in Serbia, whilst I was in London. So after filming, they sprayed the whole thing in gold and gave it to me as a present. So I have it on my mantelpiece here.
Awesome.
That's so cool. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you show it to anybody? Do you're like, here's my head?
I mean, it's here. It's right. I don't know. I could show you. I could get it and show you if you want to see it. But yeah.
Yes. We'll wait for you. We'll wait patiently. We can play the theme song. Do, 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 do.
Oh, is it copyrighted? Oh no.
It probably is, but we can sing it. I'm not copyright yet. Oh, that is
Oh,
so cool.
it's beautiful. I love it.
Aw.
So this was what Brad was built on.
Nice.
Whoa. That's pretty accurate, I would say.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's what they do is it's a body scan. So you stand in the middle, and they have 144 cameras around you, and it will take pictures, and it will just fuse it all together, and they can print it out.
Oh, that is so special, Edward. Thank you so much for showing us.
It's a pleasure.
Is it really heavy?
No, it's so this was 3D printed, so it's very really light.
Oh, light. It just looks so beautiful because of the gold. I'm like, ooh, gold is heavy. So I was like,
Shiny.
shiny. Ooh, touch it. Like that. I don't know if
So,
you guys are familiar with Futurama, but when Bender says, bite my shiny metal ass, there you go. You have,
nice.
you can definitely say that now.
Indeed.
So, Edward, what can we look forward to in the future? And I would love to be able to watch Aftermath. Is there a way that we can watch that?
So I will keep you posted on Aftermath. It's ready. The last time I heard, they are in talks with the distributors. But we should know it's all done. It's ready. I think you guys are gonna like it. It's really it's a cool project. I had to go to, so a friend of mine. She's the actress in it. Frutina. She I was actually filming Unwanted in Rome, and she called me and said, hey, there's a director doing a film, and I think the part will be, you fit the part. So I spoke to them, and yeah, I got a job and went to, it was filmed in Hungary. And so when filmed it, very cold, but the whole thing just came together beautifully. So yeah, I think it should come out probably in January or February, but I will keep you posted for sure.
That's so awesome, Edward. What other, besides that Aftermath, what are some of your other works that you were able to talk about that are coming out soon?
So like I said, in the last, kind of 3-4 weeks, I've had 4 projects out. Obviously, Quantum Devil was the first one. I have a film out at the moment in South America, in Ecuador, and I think it will be coming to the United States as well. I think early next year. It's called Los Wannabes. It's a Spanish dark comedy, very funny, very well written, and so that is Los Wannabes. And Medina also will make rounds in the States at some point on Stars Play. At the moment, it's on Stars Play Arabia, which is a series, sci-fi series. And then the latest one is on Sky called Unwanted, which will show on Peacock in next month in the United States. And at the moment, I'm writing. I'm writing with 2 different people, writing film, 2 different genres. I've already written a horror film, which I'm going to show to Larry later. But
Ooh, yes. You writing it? Oh, yes. Cannot
yes,
wait for that.
I wrote it. Well, wrote it with a friend of mine who's a distinguished English writer, and the idea came, and he went on and did his magic. So once it's all ready, yeah, I've already spoken to Larry. I'll show it to them, and they can have a look and see what they think. But I think it's a good concept. It's a good idea, and there's no film like it at the moment. So,
Mm. I will ask about that story you wrote. Is
oh,
it fantasy horror?
it's fantasy horror.
And is it in that genre? Or is it more like sci-fi, action, horror? What kind of, I don't know.
It's more like sci-fi action horror.
Sci-fi. Ooh. Sci-fi's
Yeah,
good. Sci-fi's
yeah,
probably my second favorite other than fantasy horror, but sci-fi horror is pretty up there. Got a lot of good
yeah.
ones out
Sci-fi
there.
horror with a sprinkle of drama in there. So yeah,
Sprinkled.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We are gonna keep a very close watch on all your stuff, and everybody that tuned in to this wonderful episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go check out Edward on Instagram. Go give him some love, and we hope to see him very soon with hopefully more movies with Larry. That's just a fantastic chemistry we got going on there. We'd love
Fingers
to see
crossed.
more.
I yeah. The moment we finished filming The Quantum Devil, I went to Larry and said, "Please, your next film, I want to be in it. Please." So let's see what happens.
Aww.
I enjoyed working with Larry a lot, and yeah. So let's see. You never know the future. You never know.
Yes.
I'll
You
probably
never
be back.
You
know.
know, Larry, we would love to see Edward in your next film, Larry.
Please.
Yes, little pokey pokey, Larry.
And if me and both and if me and Kat could both have a wish for Larry, it would be for Edward to have more shirtless scenes, right? Like in Tarzan. Please, Larry. Shirtless
Yes.
scenes.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, they could always bring Brad back, walking around shirtless, whatever they're filming. That'll be funny.
Just doing a cameo in the back, Brad walking around shirtless.
Yeah, whatever. Once a while, Brad walks into a film somewhere.
What's that
Who's
guy
And it
this
would
doing
guy?
be
here?
awesome because Larry's been planning to kill us on film. So it would be awesome if Edward were to be there too.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
so funny.
I'm so glad that you've decided to, or just stepped into the acting genre, Edward. I can't imagine you not being an actor. Your work is just
Thank you so
amazing. And I looked up your last name and the meaning of it while I was learning how to try and pronounce it properly.
much.
But your name means kind. Check, definitely, for agreeing to be on our show today.
Thank you
Entertainer,
so much.
yes, definitely check. And handsome, double check.
Oh,
Double
Definitely.
check.
You're definitely a beautiful person.
I will check off
inside
on all
and out,
those also.
thank you,
Yes.
thank you
You
so
get
much.
triple checks from me too. It's been
Oh,
triple
thank you.
verified. You are triple
Thank you.
verified, certified.
Thank you so much. And when I got the message from you that you wanted us to do this show, I was so grateful, and I'm so grateful to you guys for bringing me onto your show.
Aw, thank you so much, Edward. It means so much coming from somebody of your caliber because you're such an amazing human being. And to all our viewers or listeners that are tuned in for this, we want to definitely wish you a safe holiday season and a
Thank you.
happy new year. We hope that 2024 is definitely everything that you want out of this year. Hopefully, all of your dreams come true, and maybe you too can walk in on a job just like Edward did. That's our hope for everybody for 2024 is just walk on in there, get those roles, get that work put in, and become an artist and pay the
my
bills as an artist, right? That's the dream.
my favorite word, or my mantra that I always recite is believe to achieve. So believe anything you want to do, believe you are going to achieve, and you will achieve it.
Awesome.
Oh,
I
that's
love
so
that.
that's so beautiful. Believe to achieve. You heard it here first, guys. For 2024, Edward leaves you with that. Believe to achieve.
Yes. If
Thank
this
you.
last year wasn't what you wanted, let's believe that we can make next year better. And, it is what you make of it. You got to work at things. It's not just going to be handed to you. But if it's something you want, then you could definitely get it. Don't give up.
This is true. This is
Well
correct.
said. Well said.
Well said, Kat. Thank you so much for saying that. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Edward, I know it's super late in London, so we will let you go so you can probably go to Dreamland now.
Thank you so much for having me. I've had a great time talking to you, and anytime you want to have me back, I will be ready to come back anytime.
Yeah, anytime we see one of the new movies you're talking about, Aftermath or whatever, we'll
For sure.
definitely
When
reach.
Aftermath comes out, let's do it. Let's do Aftermath. I promise you, I'm going to bring Frizina, the actress, as well. She's a amazing, talented actress. You definitely have her on as well. And anytime you want to, let me know and I can put you in touch.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that'd be so fun. So, guys, stay tuned for that coming up in the near future. All right. Well, goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to thank you for listening to Delight in Fright with your hosts, Luna and Kat, a podcast for outcasts.